Good day everyone, welcome back to the Azure Databricks series. In today's video, we will be building the bronze and silver data layers using Azure Data Factory and Databricks. We will start by using Azure Data Factory to get data from an on-premise SQL server, load it into Azure storage as a CSV file with the help of self-hosted integration runtime and treat this as our bronze layer. Then we will switch to Databricks, where we will mount the storage using Notebook, read the CSV file, and filter the data, selecting only records with dates greater than just 1st June 2024. Finally, we will move this filtered data to a different container, which will form our silver layer. This step-by-step guide is perfect for anyone looking to optimize data pipelines and transformations using Azure's powerful tools. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and smash that like button to stay updated on all the things Azure and Databricks. Your support helps us continue to bring valuable content to you. What I will do now is I will go to the Databricks, and first thing that what I will do is I will go to the compute and start this cluster. Yeah. While this is on, what I'll do is I will just go to the storage account where I will be discussing about different containers and what is that I'm going to do. Yeah. Before that, the first thing that comes to our mind is we will be querying our on-premise database. The on-premise database is basically your JBDB, and it has got a table called HDFCBANK, and it has got some data here. Yeah. So what we will be doing is as a first step, using the Azure Data Factory, we'll move all the data that is present in this table into the storage account. And the storage account, we know that it is JBADB storage account, and that will go to this particular folder called source. And inside that source container, we have this folder called on-prem JBADBVM. Yeah, so that file will basically go into this particular folder. Yeah. Once this is done, what we'll do is we will use the Databricks to move the data from this particular CSV file that we will be creating from the on-premise server. And before that, what we will have to do is we will basically have to mount this source container and also the silver container on the Databricks. And once we have mounted it, we will read the source container, get that file that we created here using the data factory, and then what we'll do is we will just move the data. We will just move the data that has got a date greater than 1 June 2024 to the silver container here. Yeah, so we will move that particular data here. So what I'll do is I will delete all these things here. I don't need anything here, so let me delete it. So yeah, so this is what we are going to achieve, and once we have completed it, we will use the data factory to do all these things as a package. That is, you move the data from your on-premise SQL server to the storage container as a CSV file, and once that is done, we will be invoking the Databricks notebook from the Azure Data Factory, and then we will look at it. Yeah. So now let's see if the cluster is online. The cluster is still starting up. Once the cluster starts, we will be creating the notebook. In the meantime, what we'll do is we will go to the Azure Data Factory, and then let's look at the link services here. Yeah, the first link services I'll be interested would be this on-premise database connection. Yeah, so I'll be using the SHIR, that is the self-hosted integration runtime, to make a connection to my database JBDB. I'm not using Azure Key Vault here, but if you're interested in that, I have previous videos where I will be connecting to the same SQL server using the Azure Key Vault. Yeah, just to make things simple here, I'm directly calling it using the password. Yeah, let's try checking if the connection is fine. The connection is successful. That's the first thing. This would be my source as far as the copy data is concerned. And then I'll once I read it from the on-premise server, what I'll be doing is like I will have to move that into my storage account. Yeah, so if I see here, I have this storage account. I won't be using this one. I'll be instead using uh, let me check. I'll be using this link services here, yeah, which basically connects to our JBADB storage account. Yeah, that's the storage account I'll be using. So I'll be connecting to that. So my copy data sync will use this particular link services. Yeah, let's test the connection here as well, just to make sure everything is working. Yeah, the connection is successful here as well. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new pipeline. Yeah, so let's click on that, and then I will rename this pipeline as pipeline underscore copy data on-prem to storage, use Databricks underscore bronze underscore silver, just to give some meaningful name. But yeah, you can create it as per your requirement. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do is like I've given the name here. I'm going to use the copy data activity here. Yeah, so here what I'll do is like I will name this as copy data from SHR1 to storage account, which is our JBADB storage account. Yeah, so let me put that one here. Yep, and then I will leave everything else as default here. Okay, now I will go to the source here. Yeah, I will go to the source here, and what I'll do is like I will select the required um, um, data set here. What I'll do is like I will click on new, and then use SQL Server, because our source would be our SQL Server. Yeah. So here I'm not going to use Azure SQL database or manage as an instance. It's an on-premise, so I will select this SQL Server, click on continue, and what I'll do is like I know the table name. It is going to be JBDB is the database, and the table name is going to be HDFC. Yeah. So now the link services, I know I'm going to use this SHIR1 on-prem SQL server. Okay, and now here what I'm going to do is like I'm going to select the required table here. So this is a table I'm interested, so I will select that. Yeah, I'm not going to use any queries. Instead, I'm going to select it directly because I need all the data that needs to go to my storage account as a CSV file. Yeah, so let's click on OK. Okay, so it is selected. Yeah, so use query. I've used the table. You can also use query if you feel like there are certain columns that is required, and also you can use stored procedure if you have the business logic in a procedure. But I just want to move all the data, so I'm going to select the table here. Yeah, isolation, I will use read committed. Yeah, and everything else should be fine. Yeah, if you want to look at the data, you can just click on this preview data. Let me do that once, and I'm able to see the data properly. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the sync now. Yeah, sync, I'm going to click on new here. Yeah, and what I'm going to use, I need to move the data across to the storage account, so I will use this Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Yeah, and I will click on continue. I know it's going to be CSV file, so I will use the CSV here, and then click on continue. And here what I'll do is like I will name it as HDFCBANK underscore CSV underscore file. Yeah. And then the link service that I'm going to use, ls underscore jbadbstorageaccount. This is the link service that I'm going to use. Yeah. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this. Yeah, I know it needs to go to the source a container, and then I will select this particular folder that I've created inside. Yeah, so let me use that and click on OK. And then now what I'll do is like I will click on, so this first row as header, we know like the first row is header, so I will leave that here. Okay, and then let me click on OK. Yep, this is done now. So now what I'm going to do, the copy behavior, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to click on this preserve hierarchy. Yeah. So everything else I will leave it as a default, but the file extension, what I'll do is like I will keep it as CSV. Yeah. And also what I'll do is like I will uh, give the name here. So I want a name here. So what I'll do is like I will give a name here. Okay, I will put this name as HDFC underscore bank underscore AUG 2024.csv. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And now I have everything in place. Yeah. So what I'll do is like I will first validate all. Yeah. And then I will publish it here. Let me publish it. So first let me create this across. Yeah, I will create the source file from the on-premise storage account. And then what I'll do is like I will show you guys um, uh, on the Databricks workspace. I will show you the notebook. I will manually first run it, and then we will add a Databricks activity here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. So before executing this, what I'll do is like I will show it one more time. Source, we don't have any file here. Inside this folder, we don't have any file. Yeah. And also on the silver layer, we don't have any files. Okay. So our source container is your bronze layer, and your silver container is your silver layer. Yeah, just for understanding. And the gold layer, what you can do is like after you have the data in the silver container, maybe like you can do some more optimization and then move it across to a database or onto a data warehouse or whatever you want. Yeah, but as of now, I'm going to do only this bronze and silver, but the concept would be same for anything more after bronze and silver layer. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, now that we saw that there are no files, what I'll do is like I will go to this pipeline that we created, and then I will trigger now, and then see if it completes or it errors out. Yeah. So let's look at the pipeline run here. So it's queued now. It's gonna either succeed or fail. So let's wait for it. Okay, so the run succeeded here. So what I'll do now, I will go to the storage account and then see if I can see the file created inside this folder. Yeah. So if you see here, the file is created. Okay. So the pipeline is completed successfully. Yep. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head to my workspace, yeah, and then see if my cluster is online. Cluster is online, yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my existing notebook that I've created, yeah. So let me open that. Okay, so now what I'll do is like I will first list the mounted drives, yeah. So let me execute that. I will give you all this code in the video's description. You guys can use that, okay? So now we have these things here. We have these volumes, everything mounted. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount my uh, source container, yeah, or that is present inside my storage account, jbadbstorageaccount, storage account, yeah. So you need to basically change your storage account as per your requirement, change the container name, and also you need to change your file name, yeah. In my case, this file name is not necessary. So I just want to, um, if you see here, I just want my container source, which is going to act as my bronze layer, will have to be mounted. So let's execute that and let's wait for the results. Yeah. So it is unmounting the previously mounted container. So once the unmount is completed, it is going to mount the source container again. Yeah. Okay. So now it is mounted. Yeah. We will look at it, but before that, let's look at this one. We have provided the storage account name, the container name, and then the mount point would be mnt source. Yeah, I've provided the access key. And then what I've done is like I'm checking if this MNT source is already there. If it is there, then I'm basically unmounting it and then I'm mounting it again here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is like let's look at the mounted drives again. Yeah. So first I will look at everything. If you see here, we have this MNT. So I'm going to look at this MNT. Yeah. And now, if I execute this MNT source, that is the container, let's see, we don't have anything there, okay? But we just have one folder there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to check for the contents inside this um, folder there, inside that source container, okay? So let's run that. And then if you see here, we have this file called HDFC underscore bank underscore AUG 2024.csv. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount this silver container, which will act as our silver layer. Yeah. So now if I look at the information here, I've provided the storage account, I've provided the container name, which is going to be silver, and I'm telling like use this mount point name as MNT silver, so it will be like shown as MNT silver, okay? And I'm using the access key, and there is no more changes here. You just need to provide these things here, yeah? Now let me execute it. In case if this MNT silver is present, then it will unmount it, yeah, and then it will mount this back, yeah. So as told, it was there, so it had to unmount this MNT silver. Now it will be like mounting. So yeah, so it is mounted, but there is no files inside that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to read this um, bronze layer container source, and then I will be checking this particular CSV file that we created from the on-premise database. And we moved that data across to the storage account within this source container as HDFCBANK underscore AUG 2024.csv. Okay. Now what I'm telling is like I'm asking it to filter only data that is greater than 1 June 2024. I'm telling like I don't want all the data. I just want data that is greater than 1 June 2024 as far as the date column is concerned. Okay. Now once now this data is filtered, what will happen is like that data will be returned into this MNT Silver HDFC Bank 12 August 2024 and the file name would be HDFC underscore 12 August 2024 underscore filtered.csv. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm using a temporary directory as well, but that's not critical here. The main thing is like this one. This is where I will be having the data. Okay, so let's execute this and then see if there is going to be any error. Okay, so let's start it. Okay, so the work has been done. So let's go to the storage account and let's go to the silver. And then if you see here, we have this folder created as HDFC. If you remember before starting this, we deleted it. Yeah. So let's click on that. And if you see here, we have the data. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to view it here. Yeah. And we will see the dates here. Yeah. So just if you see here, we have date till 2 August 2024. Let's go down and see from where it is starting. So the data is starting from 3rd June 2024. 2 June we don't have data since we gave a predicate of greater than 1 June. So we are seeing data from 3rd June 2024 till 2nd August 2024. So our Databricks notebook has done its work. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up everything. And then I'm going to call this from our ADF pipeline. Okay. So let's go to the source and then let's go to here and then let's delete this file here. Yeah. This is the file that we created from the on-premise SQL. Yeah. So I'm deleting that. And then now I will go to the silver layer. And then what I'll do is like I will delete all the folders here. Yeah. I'll make sure it is all clean here. Okay, it is all deleted. So now let's head to our Databricks. And now that we have this copy data, what we'll do is like we will create a Databricks activity and then call this notebook from there. Yeah, now we did it all manually. I just want to explain each and every step. That's the reason I tried doing it manually. But now I will call it from our Azure Data Factory pipeline. Okay, so now what I'll do is like I will go to the link services and then I will create a new link service for my Azure Databricks. Okay, you need to go to the compute here. You will not have it in the data store. Yeah, you need to go to the compute and you need to select this Azure Databricks. Let's click on continue. Yeah. And then what I'll do is like I will use my Azure IR. Okay. And then let me select my subscription. Selected. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to select my Databricks that is required for this one. Yeah. So if you go to this Databricks, you will be able to see that I'm using not here. If you look at it here, you will be able to see that I'm using JBS Wiki Databricks. Yeah. So what I'll do is like I will select this JBS Wiki Databricks here. Yeah. And I'm going to use this existing interactive cluster. Yeah. I'm not going to use the new job cluster. but I will be explaining you how to use this job cluster and how you can save good amount of cost using this job cluster in future videos. But right now we will use this existing interactive clusters. Yeah. Let's make sure that the Databricks workspace URL is right. Yeah, I'm seeing ADB 34317776. Let's go here. If you can see here, ADB 34317776, and it ends with 47417. Yeah, and if I go here, it ends with 47417. So I can confirm that this is the right Databricks workspace URL. Now, if you look at the authentication type, we have access token, managed service identity, user assigned managed identity. Here we will discuss about access token. Okay, so now let's see how do we get this access token. So let's go to our URL and click on your profile here, and then click on settings. Yeah, and in settings you have something called developer. Yeah, in this developer you have the access token here, so click on that as, and then create a generate new token. Yeah, and you need to give this comment like why you need this. I will put it as ADF underscore Databricks, and then I will give a date August uh, 2024. Yeah, and lifetime days I will give it like maybe for 1 year. Okay, but whatever you want you can provide it. Yeah, and then let's click on generate. Okay, the main thing is like it is basically telling the warning, make sure to copy the token now, you won't be able to see it again. So this is the only chance, so you need to copy it, yeah, and keep it in a safe place. If you miss it now, then you will never be able to get it. Yeah, so make sure you copy it and put it in a safe place. Now let's go to the link services here, and then let's paste that access token. Yeah, so now let's wait for it to complete. This is still loading here. So now it is basically giving me an option to select the existing cluster. So I'm going to select the cluster here. Okay, and let's do a test connection. Okay, there are scenarios where you will be asked for the cluster ID. Yeah, in my case, it is not asking for the cluster ID, and also the connection completed successfully. Yeah, in case if you guys need that cluster ID, then what you need to basically do is like go to this compute, click on that, click on the compute, and then here you have some automatically added tags, and you have this cluster ID here. Yeah, so you have that one there. Or what you can do is like you can click on this view JSON. Yeah, and then here as well you will get your cluster ID. So either way you can get your cluster ID. Okay. So in my case, I just need to select my required cluster directly, so I don't have any issues in giving that cluster ID and stuff. But yeah, just in case if you get it, you need to give that one. Yeah. Now let's click on create, and this will be the um, link service that I'll be utilizing. Okay, Azure Databricks one. So let's use that in the pipeline now. Yep. So now let me go back to my pipeline here, and then I will create a new one here. That is like I need to call the notebook, right? So I'm going to use this notebook here. Okay, so once the on-premise copy completes, we will tell that let's run this notebook. Okay, so what happens is like from the on-premise, we query the database, and then we move that data onto the source container, which is your bronze layer. You create a CSV file there, and then once this activity completes, we will execute this Databricks notebook stuff. Yeah. So now what we'll do is like let's put a name here. Move data to silver. Yeah. And let's go to this Azure Databricks. I will use my link services that I've created. Yeah. And once we can do the test connection as well here. Yeah. So the connection is successful. Let's go to the settings here. Yeah. So the connection is this one, we know that, yeah, and this is the link service, yeah, and a notebook path. Let's click on browse, and then here, if you see here, we have these things here. We need to select the required one. Okay, let's go to the users folder, yeah, and let's click on this. And then what I'll do is like I will use this one, yeah. So this is the one that we manually executed. So let's click on OK. So we have selected the required notebook. Okay, so now this is done. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to publish this. Yeah. Let's wait for it to complete. Once the publish is done, we will look at the storage account one more time just to make sure we don't have anything in the silver container. I see nothing here. Yeah. Now let's do the look at the source as well. I don't see anything, just a folder. Inside the folder, I don't have anything. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the pipeline that I've created. Yeah. Let's validate it once. Looks good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to trigger it, and then let's see if it completes. Let's look at the pipeline. So right now it is looking at the on-premise stuff, that is a copy data. Let's wait for it to either complete or fail. Okay, so the first step is completed. Now we are on the Databricks notebook. Yeah, so it's currently in progress. So let's click on this details. And then if you see here, we are seeing that monitor real-time execution in Azure Databricks. Duration is 60 seconds and run page URL is this one. So let's click on that. Yeah, let's click on that and then see what happens as far as the notebook is concerned. Yeah, if you see here, this one is completed. But this one is as well completed. The moving the data. Yeah, so I'm just mounting the storage account, which is your source container, which is basically your bronze layer. Yeah, and then I'm displaying the things here, and then mounting the silver layer, and then I'm basically moving the data across. So if you see here, everything is completed. So now if I go back to my run here, and if you see here, it is completed, it has succeeded. Yeah, so let me close it. So it has completed. Now let's go to the container here. First is a source container where you will have your on-premise data. That is, you read your on-premise data and you created this file. Yeah, now let's go to our silver layer. And then if you see here, we have the data created. So this time we did not do anything manually. We created a Azure Data Factory package, and from the package we did everything, and the load is completed. So this is how you will have it on the production. It is very simple, just for our understanding. But as far as the production is concerned, the amount of data, the amount of business logic involved would be complex and more. But the basic thing is, like, if you can understand the basics, you will be able to create complex business logic, and you can implement these things in production. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.